Too late.
Woo, Ryan, guess what? It's show number 100.
Say the meek little make that kitty quiver. I'm just saying. Check this out.
Yes, Steve. Let's see your wiener.
Bless.
There you go.
When you take your shirt off, does it match your chest hair?
You okay, Ryan?
Yep.
You took a little too big of a gulp, didn't you? Got a little brave.
No, this one's,
Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night. This is another edition of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. I am going to hand it over to Ryan in a second, but I am Steve Crass. I am with It's All About the Barbecue. And during the week, you can find me at the lovely, wonderful Wanamaker's in beautiful downtown Downers Grove, Illinois. And a man sitting next to me back after both of us were gone for a whole week. Yeah. The man, the myth, the legend, the chairman of the board, Mr. Ryan Hoagland.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing? I'm glad to be back. We
had like a little week off.
And I've been gone.
Well, you were gone for a while, and we're back. And then
life is lifing right now between soccer and track and everything else. Life is lifing, and that's kind of what happens right now when your kids are young and you have to spend time with them.
So what I am going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I am going to step out of the screen for a second. I'm going to let Ryan run the show. Ask him any kind of questions you want. Ask him about the griddle battle if you want to. That's coming up on September 12th. Registration is now open. Please get to the griddle battle as soon as possible and sign up and make sure you're a part of this epic event. I'm going to go try and our guests are having a little bit of issues. I'm going to try and see if I can get them through it.
Yeah.
Ryan?
But while he's doing that, we're going to start off with our amazing sponsor.
Oh, there he is. Wait, Scott is there. Never mind. I think we got it. I think we're all good.
Sponsors, though. Thank you very much.
Never mind. I'm
Melinda's Hot Sauce, bold heat and flavor. Boys Night Out, championship level barbecue rubs. Blues Hog, legendary sweet heat barbecue sauce. Marble Ridge Farm, premium quality meats. Fat Cow Jerky, big flavor for serious snacking. And OG Bandits, bold rubs with barbecue attitude. All
right, everybody. I think everything's going to work now. My beard is having issues today, and it's driving me crazy.
I do want to bring out, because we were having a little technical difficulties trying to figure things out before we started. And Mr. Cherry White, I want to say, hey, what's up? He was the first person to comment in here saying good evening, everyone. AK Barbecue Man, Mr. John Man is here as well. I'm not getting any video, but we're here now because we just went live. But yes, Griddles and Riddles are in the house. What's this? What is this griddle battle you're talking about?
That's everything for a different show, Griddles and Fiddles.
And Jim Bell. What's up, brother? How are we doing?
I do, Ryan, before we get started, now that we can go right into the whole show and get me excited and everything, I want to give a shout out to our good friend, AK Barbecue Man up there in Alaska. He sent Ryan and I these nice, gorgeous.
Yak.
Yep.
I can't wait to yak off on that shirt.
Yeah.
And talk about the yak off.
Yeah. I was going to wear it today, but unfortunately the logo is on the back and you wouldn't see it anyway. So I was going to wear it backwards, but then I wouldn't feel right because my button wouldn't be up. But anyway.
You could have put it on backwards.
I could still put it on backwards, but maybe later in the show we'll put on the rabbit ears. Where are they? Rabbit ears. Put on the glasses.
I'm here back with my white t-shirt.
And Ryan's back here.
Steve missed it. So
all right, Ryan. So our guest this week, it has intrigued me since they first announced this competition. This one here, right here, is going to drive me nuts the whole show.
Just tuck it under there.
I did. I tried to tuck it under. Now look at his brothers out. But anyway, it has intrigued me since they announced the whole BBQ World Cup. I have so many questions, and Ryan, I'm sure you have tons and thousands. I have tons of questions to figure out how this is all working, but I believe, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, the prize is $1 million.
Wow.
Is that crazy, Ryan? I should have cooked it.
Shit.
Is it like
1,000? I'm missing a couple zeros in the griddle battle prize money here.
Well, maybe look at there it is again. See, fuck it. Anyway,
that's all right. We're trying to get our sponsors up.
Anyway, did you get the sponsors up? All right, everybody. Let's get right into it. I thank everybody for coming on and enjoying this. Let's bring Scott. He is one of the organizers, and I hoping he's the brainchild behind this, because I really want to know how you think of something like this. So, Ryan, let's bring him on the show. Scott, can you hear us?
We can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Welcome to the show, sir.
There we go. Sorry for that confusion. I was looking at the invite, and it was like the Thursday Night Barbecue chat on Facebook, and my Facebook count literally went down like a month ago. So it is not fun to have to deal with. That is for sure.
No, I can't imagine that. Yeah, no, it's through StreamYard. You're all set. You're all good. Welcome. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. And yeah, excited to be here. Sorry for the the tardiness, but we made it. We're here.
That's all that matters.
That's it.
Worse things have happened. I can tell you that from
John says, looking for a beard oil sponsor, folks. Help Steve out.
No, really, I cannot understand with it today. It's like,
oh man, it looks pretty solid over here.
No, but it's got this. There's this one little thing that there's like this one hanger that keeps.
I would have never noticed it, Steve, if you didn't point it out. But now you're like everybody's.
I know now everybody's staring at it, except for those like listening on Spotify tomorrow.
Yeah.
If Ryan updates Spotify, yeah, if he uploads it. So I got somebody. First of all, I guess.
Introduce yourself.
Well, no. Yeah. First, I do want you to introduce yourself, but I want to. I mean, do you got a barbecue background that you got into this whole thing, or was just this something that's like it sounded like it was fun for you to do?
No, so I'll give you the how we got here. So my background has been professional sports for 20 years. So I worked for the Florida Panthers for 5 years, the Dallas Cowboys for 10 years, the Las Vegas Raiders for the last 5, and relocating them from California to Las Vegas. All my background has been like the commercial revenue side. So sponsorship, right? So during my time at the Cowboys, I had a client of mine and good friend. He owns a company called Funtown RV, which is, a really large RV dealership. Anyway, he puts on a big event at AT&T Stadium, and he called me and he's like, "Hey, I want your help with, a couple things." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he's like, "I want to put on like a barbecue competition." And he's like, "Do you know anybody?" I'm like, "Not really. Like, I have a couple people that I know, that cook professionally, I guess you would call it." And, one thing led to another. He's like, "I want to do it." I'm like, "All right, like, let me reach out to him and find out what to do." And one thing led to another. And I ended up hosting the Texas barbecue shootout at AT&T Stadium back in 2024. Right. So we gave away $100,000 in cash and prizes, $60,000 RV. We gave away a Cowboy suite, Raider. Yeah, it was Cowboy suite. Sorry, got my teams mixed up there for a second. Phil Breeden with LC Barbecue ended up winning that. Bill Purvis came in second. And, I just fell in love with it, right? I was there, like there was zero intentions of like me leaving a 20-year sports career to try to pursue something in this space. So as I was flying back to Vegas, I put together a business plan and worked on that for about 2 years, pitched hundreds and hundreds of investors and people within my network, right? I mean, I think we've all, seen the explosion of sports and what it's done in terms of like companies and celebrities investing in these things. And, you see pickleball teams selling for $15 to $20 million. You see professional bull riding teams selling for, $30 to $50 million. So, my thesis behind doing this was there's a massive world of this that already exists. Right. There's thousands and thousands of competitions. You got different sanctioning bodies. The world of competition barbecue is strong, right? In terms of like events that are being held and the connection of people that just love barbecue. So anyway, after probably 200-300 meetings, I finally got an investor to say yes and say, we're on board. And basically the pitch to them is we're creating American Idol for barbecue, right? That's the easiest way to kind of describe it very quickly. There's 1,000 other things that we're building, on top of that, but American Idol for barbecue and storytelling and following pit masters around and learning about their background and people rooting for them. And, so it's a big media company that's going to be behind this. And, and we got some other folks that we're finalizing all that stuff with right now. But yeah, it's been super exciting. But hopefully that kind of kicks it off into all the other questions.
Yeah. Well, question for you. I mean, obviously, well, you answered the one. I was going to say, where did you come up with $1 million? But obviously, you got to.
And also too, it just sounds way better, right? I mean,
yeah, it does.
Like it was important as I was going through this and watching, all of these teams cook, at the event that I put on. It's like they're traveling, right? You're paying all these costs, food, right? You're coming, Friday, Saturday, you're staying all weekend. And for Phil telling me that he does this 52 weeks a year, I'm like, that's madness. You know what I mean? And, and you got a lot of people that it's just a massive hobby for. And I say the word hobby lightly because traveling 52 weeks of the year is not a hobby. Right. But I say it from the terms of, it's not something where it's like life-changing money, right? Going to these competitions and winning 1,500 and you put in 1,500. Right. So it's just this massive community. So I was sitting there and I'm like, man, could you imagine having a professional barbecue team, right? Could you imagine creating a league around that? And then could you imagine, the American Idol version of this and people following pitmasters and teams from all over the world competing for life-changing money? And now you've created theoretically the best pitmaster in the world story, right? So now they're a celebrity pitmaster. They're traveling, sauces, seasonings, restaurants, right? Like, so yeah, there's a big business vision behind it outside of just trying to sell sponsorships at a cooking competition.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy. I mean, $1 million, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I can say this with the griddle battle. I mean, we were doing 1,000 last year, and I can up that to 100,000 pennies this year. So we'll keep it going, make it sound better.
And we did good at the Texas. We did good at the first event that we did, right? I mean, it's one of those things. I think we collected the prize or the purse or the entry fee was $350 at that event, and we had 85 teams show up, and we tried to reduce the cost. We hired CBA to come in and sanction the event, and they came in, did a great job. But yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, right? And it's also not very fan facing, right? So consumers aren't coming in and paying whatever, $25 to come, and watch teams cook because they're cooking. So they're not interacting with people, right? Because they're trying to win a competition. So yeah, it's just this balance of, I think what has struggled is, you put on an event and, everybody thinks the same way. They're going to go to Traeger and Traeger's going to give them, $50,000. You know what I mean? My little one just popped in.
That's all right.
Here, one sec, guys.
All right.
Catch up here. John says Raiders.
Yeah, dude, this is. I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
I mean, it is true though. I mean, you go to these competitions. That's why I got out of competition barbecue, because it was like, yeah, you can win and you can win some money, but you have to be very good. B, you have to get the right cook. You got to pay. Where they're paying $300, $400 for a brisket, and I'm getting that $80 one at Costco. I mean, you're gonna have a difference on that, But I couldn't afford to keep doing it.
Sorry about that. On daddy duty right now with two little ones.
I'm sure
that's all right.
Will come down here in a little bit too.
That's the best part about a live chat. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, I mean,
exactly.
It's the greatest show that nobody watches anyway.
It's the greatest show that nobody watches. Okay, so anyway, all right. So now you got the idea and you got the concept, you got the sponsors. How did you go through? I mean, like you said, there's KCBS, there's MBN, there's CBN, there's all these different sanctioning bodies. How did you come up with which competitions you were going to include in part of this, massive thing, overall championship thing? I mean, because obviously you picked Praise to Lard, because I remember in January there was this big hubbub because there were people that had been going to it forever and it was already sold out in January because it was one of the competitions. How did you decide which competitions were in and qualify?
Yeah. We had a group of advisors and pitmasters that, have been doing this for a long time. Right. They helped put together a list and would show and talk about this event. And Right. Because I mean, honestly, that was probably the hardest part of this entire thing, is having to turn people down. Right. Because, this first year, we were trying to target, 100 teams, or 100 pitmasters that would make it to Vegas. So, with that, we had to turn away a lot of contests. Right. And there's a lot of great stories, right, of folks out there that have a contest, and a lot of them are 501c3s and they're raising money. So they're all raising for a good cause. But that was the hardest part. But yeah, we had a committee, of folks that really helped shape, what events, ones that have been around for a while, reputable ones, which ones are run by, great organizers. But yeah, that was critical, right? Because, again, not being super familiar, with, all of the different competitions. Now, obviously, in the age of AI, you can do a pretty good job at kind of figuring things out pretty quickly around like which ones have been around long, and have a good reputation, et cetera. But yeah, the committee of folks that we had was extremely valuable. But that's essentially how we did it. And then as we identified, I don't know, let's just call it, 30 to 40, then we started to, on the website, it was, something that we wanted to do where it was like promote your event, right? Or become a qualifier for next year. And then we started to take, just information from events all around the world, right? So somebody would share it with somebody. Like, for instance, I was flying back yesterday and I got a note from somebody from South Africa that's got 10 competitions that they host. And I was like, we literally have like one spot left, from an event perspective, to add. And South Africa is a country that we don't have anything in. Right. So it was like, perfect. Like, now we're starting to get an idea of all these events that exist around the world, because we are sanctioning body agnostic. Like, that's not the space that we're in. Right. We're trying to lift all small events around the world and all sanctioning bodies that sanction event. Right. Because they all have a place. Right. SCA started because, there was a challenge of cooking, 4 or 5 meats at a contest, and it was expensive. So anyway, that's how we went around it. And it was like, we're going to create something above it all. And, but that was a piece that was important, is that we had to have something where it was like minimum, maybe 3 meats, right, at a contest, right? That's a tough thing. You can't cook a burger and be crowned the best pitmaster in the world. Right. So, we were trying to create some parameters, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I could cook a burger and be considered the best pitmaster in the whole world. What do you think, Ryan? There it is. The champion. That's it. $1 million burger, baby.
Listen, maybe it evolves into that down the road.
That might be like a $250,000, but this would be a $750,000 burger right there.
No, anyway.
That's an ongoing thing. I mean, anytime we talk about burgers, that's our whole.
Yeah, I know.
That was Steve's, and that's mine.
So that's so. I mean, obviously, to me, like for me, obviously, there's what we have next week. There's Memphis in May. There's the Jack. There's the American Royal. I mean, those are to me, the big 3 of the year. I mean, do the bigger ones have different weights to them, or? I mean, because obviously something like Memphis in May, you're going to have 100 or 200 or whatever at some competitors versus, a smaller competition that might have like 80 or whatever. I mean, so is there different weights based on the competition?
Yeah, 100%. Right. Like the Royal, we have 5, the top 5, right? Just because it's such a big contest, you got a lot of people, there. And I would say the majority of like the regional qualifiers that we've done, are primarily 2, right? First and second place. Like for instance, the Grand American that happened just this past weekend, like little bit of a unique setup where we took the grand champion from Saturday and Sunday, because they had a Saturday, Sunday cook-off. Right. And then we're trying to find ones that are more open events, right? Like versus the invitational ones where, again, the goal with this is, even next year is to say, like, how can we lift, every competition that's, around the country, right? Like if you got a competition, 20 teams, and it's just a fun one in your area, but, it's like, we want to create pathways for everybody's event, down the road to have a chance. Right. So, we've talked about having kind of 3 of our own qualifiers next year. And then, So we do one on the West Coast. We take 50 competitions on the West Coast that would qualify for slots into that. Then that would be a qualifier into that. So we're trying to create pathways for everybody to kind of have a chance. Again, just, so somebody who's never done competition cooking, you go, man, I can win $1 million. Easier said than done,
Right.
Cooking it, but at least it gives somebody the chance to be like, oh, let me go and give this a shot.
So-
better than I can win $300.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's better than $300. You need $300 doesn't even cover a brisket.
Yeah.
So how? Let me think about this for a second. So then, how is the? So you had to register before. You only took 100 teams. How did you pick? Is that what you were saying? 100 teams?
Well, no, we're taking 50, we have 50 contests, right, from around
Okay.
the world, right? So, for instance, Memphis in May next weekend, we're going to take the first place, the GC out of Memphis in May will qualify, right? So, Grand American this past weekend, we took the GC from Saturday, GC from Sunday. In the Shields Home and Hardware North Dakota Barbecue Championship, we took the GC and the RGC. So we have 50 events that we're partnered with, and we're basically taking their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and some. The top 5 is only one event, which is the Royal. On the open side, the invitational side will also take 4. So that's how we're not picking pitmasters. We're taking them. They're qualifying at these additional events. So it's lifting. Like, I'll give you a good. It's the example that I've said probably 100 times. So if somebody has heard it, but Slabberama, which is in Bullhead City, Arizona, it's more of one of those regional events, and they went from 25 teams and they announced to 60, right? So more judges, right? More people in the competition cooking, more, briskets sold at your butcher, right? So it's a big wheel that, kind of just helps everything. And that's what the hope with it is to create that.
It gets a little bit more of a spark back into the excitement back into the barbecue that you can. Yeah. Now, are you going to?
Awesome. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was
go
just going to say, in the website and what we're literally in the process of revamping the website. The website, I go to, it makes me want to throw up, just because it's so bad, but we had to get something up for these events early on, to help start to promote these. And then, people started coming to our website. So we're literally in the process of, redoing the whole thing. And, our new website will be called bbqunited.com, right? So the goal with it is to create a digital community for barbecue, right? Whether you like competition, you're a judge, you have an event, you have classes, you sell product, right? You want to reach out, a neighbor's hosting an event. He's just like, hey, come drink some beers and I'm going to cook a brisket on Sunday, right? It's, I think that's the biggest piece is people connect, over like-minded things, right? So that's where we're really, I would say that's probably one of the bigger focuses, in terms of like building that out, is letting people that love barbecue connect with each other, right? So instead of having separate Facebook groups, it's like everybody in this like big barbecue community together, right? Steve can be like, hey, Sunday I'm doing a little event at my house. Anybody want to come over, right? So anyway, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, I get it. So, wow. I mean, so 50 events and you got 2 to 3 people per event. I mean, that's a lot of teams.
Yeah. It's like, we'll end on 100, right? So there's some events that are 1, where we'll take 1. So yeah, I mean, we'll end at 100. Like a lot of the international ones are all 1, right? The GC that we'll take, right? Just because, again, it was a little bit weighted, right? A lot of the international teams are, there's some really good ones out there that have been doing it for a long time, but a lot of the international ones haven't, been cooking, the true kind of competition style barbecue in a long time. So, but we'll end it. We're going to take 100 teams, and then the comp in Vegas will be a 3-day tournament. So 100 teams, the top 50 will advance to Saturday, the top 25 advance to Sunday. And then we'll throw in some sort of, Vegas to make it fun, and the 50 teams that didn't qualify, kind of a last chance to get in. So we're working through that, but it's basically going to be 25 teams cooking for $1 million down from 100.
I can't picture it. I just can't even. I was going to say you should have it like, the top 25 should have to compete 2 days in a row and take the average. I mean, it's kind of amazing to do 25 teams, one cook, $1 million. That's insane.
Yeah, but they were the best the first 2 days.
Right. No, I get it.
Right?
But I'm just saying,
yeah.
but it's like, man, that's like the ultimate, like, I guess that's what makes the Super Bowl so good. It's like the whole season comes down to just one game, and that's it. Too bad. But I mean, but man, God, that's going to be in Vegas.
This is the year to sign up, right? Because once it happens, like, it's a little bit of like the cat's out of the bag, right? I mean, it's slowly getting out there, right? But, we're having conversations on the media side with people, and, but the plan is next year is to really kind of go full force and shoot the American Idol season, leading up to the World Cup. But yeah, I mean, this is theoretically the year where it's like, you're probably going to get the least amount from a competition standpoint, just because it's still new.
Yeah. I mean, that's still amazing.
You have to get them to do videos of the competitions that they're winning to get in as well.
Oh yeah. It's incredible. Like, I was just in Australia at Meat Stock up there with Jay Beaumont and, their underseason barbecue, show that they do. But we were just literally, that's where I flew back from yesterday. And, they had a team, Dusty Q, that was like winning every competition, but they hadn't won the last two, and they already had 2 qualifiers in Australia. They didn't win, and they came to this one and finally got it. And it was like, yeah, it was crazy emotional.
I was going to ask you if you were at Meat Stock, because I was watching the open fire guys. I actually got 2 people coming on the show later on from Australia. So Ryan, we got 2 people from Australia coming on the show, just so you know, 2 different.
Nice. Who do you have?
I got the Flamin' Mongrels is one of them. They're open fire, and then I got they're gonna kill me because hold on. I can
no, you're all good. I mean to put you on the spot.
It's well, the one I know is the Flaming Mongrels, just because it was such a fun name. I got it. I knew it right off the top of my head. The other one was.
I'm going to let him look that up real quick, but we have hit our halfway point. So let me just thank the other half of our sponsors real quick.
Sure.
Fat Boy Hickman's Barbecue. Backyard barbecue done right. Steak Ager. Next level dry aged steak at home. Spitfire Grills. Built for serious fire. P&L Steaks Grilling Supply Company. Gear for the grill life. Smoky Woods. Real wood flavor for real barbecue.
And Smoky Woods.
It's actually. I was going to say, too, Smoky Woods, before you get to that. Smoky Woods, I think right now at Ace has 2 bags for $25 of their pellets. I just came across the ad.
Thanks,
good deal
Ryan.
right there.
Thanks, Ryan, for those of us that aren't in Ace Hardware and are on the show. That's nice to tell people all that. Anyway,
you can go to Wanamaker's in Downers Grove, Illinois.
Yeah. Anyway, it was Aussie Campfire Kitchen is the other one that's going to be on. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I was following. Now I can't think of his name. The Dark Side of the Grill. I was following him. Yeah, Mel. I was following him. He was going to be a guest on a couple. I think it was supposed to be 2 weeks ago, but I think he just got too wrapped up in the whole thing. And I said, I was just kind of like, just forget it. Whenever you get back, we'll figure out a date for you. And I've been watching some of the videos. It just seems like a great time.
I would highly recommend it. It was unbelievable. It was my first time ever in Australia, and it's like one of those things you leave and you're like, man, why is it taking me this long to get there? And then you go to that event and you're like, I mean, the food and like the food scene in Australia, like blew me away in Sydney. It was like the hospitality, like they have these speakeasies that are like I've never seen anything like it. And like, sometimes you go in those like really nice, like speakeasies that have, the allure in the name, and you go in there and you're like, they make you feel like an asshole, and you're like, you know what I mean? You're like, what do you guys, so anyway, like their hospitality was like spectacular, like very welcoming. But that event that Jay does up there is incredible. So I would highly recommend trying to make a trip out of that.
Let me go to Instagram. Ryan, I got some Instagram comments here. I got let's see here. Am I barbecue? Do you know Am I barbecue, Ryan? No. All right. Well, he says, what kind of barbecue you make, Ryan? That's what he says. Ryan doesn't make any barbecue. Ryan only cooks on the griddle, which is, I mean, if you kind of like stretch the word barbecue, it kind of loops in the griddle people.
Wow.
So
Hey, I mean, that's like shots fired right there, Ryan.
I know he does it all the time. He loves my Blackstone so much. I think he's like secretly jealous.
Well, Ryan's got a competition and I don't. I got a show. Nobody watches it, but I got a show.
Well, so I'm just here, just hanging out. Like it's just the Steve show.
And then and he was making comments. It must have been when we were talking about how they choose the winners. He says, great barbecue with just one bite, and that's it. I mean, that's the debate. One bite for $1 million. It's amazing. And it says if you get whiplash, that's that. And then there's a winner. He says yes, the barbecue is all types, but here's like barbecue, and then there's the griddle people coming in.
Happy Pappy Pepper Powder made it. He says
Happy Pappy's got some nice looking merch. I saw he was posting. Did you see the pictures of his merch? He's got some nice looking merch coming out.
Yeah. Yes, most of
All
he showed up on Instagram.
So how long have you guys had the show?
This is show number 128.
Yes.
Top.
Maybe you can get some of your sponsors to maybe they want to purchase a podcast.
I mean, you name a price. We just drop a duffel bag off at your door.
Yeah, I mean that would work for me and Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's like again, just not even to go down that rabbit hole, but we're definitely looking to add a lot more to what we're building out, right? Like for instance, like that's one thing that we've talked about is creating a podcast network, right? Meaning like to help, right? Because that's how you aggregate eyeballs. That's how you aggregate a sponsor. Like, it's really hard to go out and get a sponsor, if you're only going to reach, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40,000 eyeballs. Right. So how do we do it as a collective group? Right. So then we can go to Pepsi and be like, we got, 50 podcasts that have, a reach of 1 million. Then it's like, okay. And then you can sprinkle it a little bit across it all. So some other things that we're working on.
Well, don't forget about us when you get that. I mean, it sounds like you're trying to, hold on, let's rewind that a whole second because I had a question before that. All right, so there's the Food Sport Pro League. You've heard about that, and I think maybe you've heard about that.
Yep.
But like Mark Conway and those guys, they're doing that whole thing, and then they're going to come out on YouTube. They're going to come out and do basically shows of each of the competitions and this and that, and kind of do that kind of thing. Are you guys going to do the similar type thing? Are you guys like videoing the competitions that are happening of these qualifiers and then come out with like maybe episodes of like the BBQ World Cup season 1 and show how like each different competition and how everybody fared in each competition?
Yeah, this year, I mean, it's going to be tough to get to all 50. We've been to San Antonio, Houston, Lakeland, Meat Stock, going to Memphis, trying to think of, so I mean, we're going to go to probably as many as we can. This year it's more, focusing on just making sure that we have a solid event in Vegas, and we focus on that. So that's really where I would say the main focus is. But yes, the thought is that year 2, like we have captured content, we are doing interviews with, the winners, right? And, so we are doing those things. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be, one of those like elite level Netflix productions right now, but that's why, we need, that's where our media partner comes in that can really help take all of the stuff that we've taken. And the plan would be this year is probably just to host, one show that would be the BBQ World Cup. And then we would take all of that footage that we have kind of throughout the year across various ones versus like next year. It's like, all right, let's go to Lakeland and have a full, production team that's there and, walking around and, interviews the teams after they win, goes that route. But yes, like that's the plan, is like we would have our own channel to start, and then and then hopefully shoot, get it off the ground and shoot the World Cup as the big TV series, that first one, and then do the whole season starting next year.
Yeah, I think my thought with all this is like, to get that, maybe that could be part of their qualifier. Like if they qualify for, I mean, you're not just going to win a $10,000 prize at a barbecue competition. You're talking $1 million freaking dollars here. Maybe part of their qualifier could be that if they qualify and they're going to make it down there, they've got to submit some of their videos to you.
Well, they've been good. Like we've, Shannon, the co-founder and president with me, she's been interviewing all of them. So, again, to your point, it's been awesome to start that process and honestly really just learn their stories. There's been a couple people, that we've talked to that have kind of come out of retirement. I was trying to pull it up, the event that we had. Yeah, it was Danny Lorea with Incognito. He ended up coming out of retirement, was dealing with cancer, came out of retirement, hadn't cooked in a long time, saw this, was like, hey, like, let's see if I still got it, and came in second at the CBA Worlds, which was awesome. So there's so many incredible stories. And then you got, Bobby Delgado, a 20-year-old who went to Smoking on the Rio, which is a massive competition. I think they have like 200-300 teams at that one. And, all the best ones, and a 20-year-old, ended up, coming in RGC'd that one. So yes, the plan would be to kind of tell these stories and, do all of these things. So yeah, we're super fired up.
That's awesome. I know we'll get back to this. I want to throw this one out there, but so people that cook on a grill aren't equal to those that barbecue. What makes them more superior? I mean,
it's my good friends, the Smoke and Griddle Boys, who I will give credit to actually go out and compete at the griddle battle and actually try to put their money where their mouth is and show that what they put on the screen is actually as good as the food they make. So congratulations. I'm glad that you do that. But I will say, if you go to any restaurant, you will find a griddler, and they're all cooking on a griddler, but you will not at every restaurant find a great quality barbecue pitmaster.
I mean, it's definitely a lot harder, right? Like I don't think we can deny that. But Ryan, listen, if you cook good food, I'm on board for it.
Man, maybe the griddle battle is going to be the next qualifier.
Hey, listen, you could throw in a griddle battle at the World Cup.
Let's do it.
God, that would be great. I might actually. No, I wouldn't fly, but I'd drive out there for that.
Yeah. Towing a griddle.
Towing a griddle. No, I wouldn't be towing a griddle. I can't even say that. I'm not anti-griddle. I just like picking on the griddle people.
Well, listen, that's why it's like you can't, at Thanksgiving dinner, it's like you can't talk politics, religion, and barbecue.
See, we got nervous because we were talking politics before the show.
We were talking before you got
Terry White was on the YouTube and he's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And we're like, "Should we live?"
Were we accidentally live
on the YouTube post? And we're like, "Oh shit!"
Oh my goodness, that's hysterical.
Politics, but yeah, Smoke Griddle Boys said,
"I know Smoke and Griddle Boys are
the time and the place. They're ready. They do. They do cook on a lot. Actually.
They do come out and they cook great stuff. They got great content on their page. Get out there and look at it. They do great stuff. And like I said, they're actually brave enough to come to the griddle battle, put their money where their mouth is, and compete, which I love because I wish more of the griddle people would get out there to Ryan's griddle battle thing and actually compete.
It's a struggle. But Scott, the griddle battle is essentially just a barbecue competition, all on flat tops only.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you guys cook?
So we've got the one this year. I try to change the categories up a little bit just to keep it interesting. But this one coming up is breakfast, dessert, and I'm going to do an anything goes category. Do whatever you want. It's just got to be on a griddle.
People are going to get creative for sure.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It's not, and nothing against KCBS, but it's the same four things every single time is all you're doing. I like the
Yeah.
versatility of it.
Totally. It's tough, but I mean, listen, there's a lot of good people out there that are super creative. I mean, even when you do like desserts and stuff at barbecue competitions, like it's actually mind blowing the stuff that some of these, I guess you call them pit masters come up with from a dessert perspective.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen some amazing, and nothing against them. I mean, they're awesome. I've seen some great desserts come up with smoker.
Listen, I'll come be a judge at the griddle battle.
Oh yeah, you're in. Ryan, you got a celebrity judge.
Gotta get some teams signed up.
Yeah, I don't know if celebrity. I appreciate it though, Steve, but yeah, celebrities probably use the
We only have celebrities on the show, so you're here
for you're a celebrity. I hate to tell you, but any judge from out of town is considered a celebrity for the griddle.
All right.
Anybody that hadn't had to travel more than a half hour or 45 minutes is considered a celebrity because they made a special trip for it. So
I'll take it.
Oh, look at who's on there,
barbecue. Look at that. It says, "Oh yeah, you ready for Memphis, Scott?"
Yeah, I got to do my judging tomorrow with Mike. So shout out, he built a scoring system with for live fire. So I got to do my preview tomorrow with him.
Oh,
so
well,
I owe you an email back, Mike. You caught me out here.
It's probably why he came on. He's like, I'm gonna hold him down. He was in Australia, Mike. Trust me, I've been trying to email him too, just to make sure that everything was okay. And then he finally comes back with, I was in Australia, and I'm like, oh, no wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder why.
The time change is deadly.
Well, that's the hard part when we do like people from. We did what is it? Third Wave Barbecue, which is in Melbourne. We did Australia, and yeah, he was. We were Thursday night barbecue chat, and he was Friday morning because it was like Friday at like 11 a.m. So it's kind of weird that at the time it's like weird to talk to the future. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Yeah. No, it's definitely funky. And then one thing I was going to just mention too before I forget is, we're going to do it's a 4-day event in Vegas. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's really like a big barbecue festival. Right. Expo. We're going to have brands out there. We're going to have music, big kids area. There'll be kids competitions. But that Thursday we're going to do like a media day. So we're going to invite media down to just cover and be a part of it. Right. So we're going to have like a media row, very similar how like the NFL does like at the Super Bowl. So when all the teams get in their area on Thursday, everybody will get to kind of walk in there and closed off for media. I mean, if you guys know any media personalities, that want to come down.
Like a Thursday night barbecue chat.
I'm gonna
have to think about that and get back to you.
Yeah, especially like if there's any like of the top podcast, the top podcasts that like people haven't heard of yet.
The greatest shows that nobody watches.
Nobody watches.
I mean, but take for example this show. I mean, this show has on the creator of the BBQ World Cup, probably like to me like one of the most exciting things in barbecue, besides the open fire meetup that's now at Memphis in May, because I like the expansion of the open fire meetup there. And you would think there'd be tons of questions from everybody. Blazing Star, you're here, Mike. Mike's been a co-host. He's been a guest. He's one of our original guests way back, and he's a good friend. I'm excited about that open fire, Mike. So I can't wait to see some of the stuff you guys put out. I did see Al Fergoni's team. I know they're the champion from the meetup, but that's a pretty stacked team. I don't know if I'd want to go up against the.
Are the teams like I haven't even said? Are the teams like on like are they public like on like a website or social?
I just saw, for some reason, I think it came across. I don't know if there's a team list. I didn't get into the Memphis in May page. For some reason, it came up on Al Fergoni's page,
gotcha.
I believe, and it listed all the. Oh no, I take that back. Maybe it wasn't Al's team. Skip that. Maybe it was the Melinda's team. It's the Melinda's team. Yeah, I take that back. It was the Melinda's team. Our sponsor, Melinda's, wasn't Al. It was Melinda's.
Chef
but
Fig.
Yeah, they had Chef Fig was on it, and I don't know if I have if I can find it really quick. Probably not, because I'm horrible at the internet.
No, you're good. I just was curious. I know, yeah, that's going to be exciting that they're expanding into, doing that stuff. But yeah, it's going to be fun.
Here it is. I'm sorry, I take that back. It was the Melinda Hot Sauce team. It's team NorCal, I guess. It's got Tony Ramirez. It's got Chuck Motto, Chuck's Flavor Train, Chef Fig, Kevin Ortega. It's got Chef Chris Bonato, who's Bonato. He's going to be a guest on the show coming up. Rob Conrado. Can't see because I'm so far away. Nick Keith, George Castillo, Dan Carrera, Pete Klein, Nick Wilson, and Mike. I mean, there's a Mendoza, Emery Stevenson.
It's like an NFL roster right there.
I know there's a whole bunch of them. Travis King. So they're the two-time open fire meetup champion from Hondo's. So they're going to be there. So yeah, it wasn't Al Fergoni's team. It was actually a Melinda's Hot Sauce team. That's an amazing team right there.
Mike said that was the first team announced, and there's no published teams list. They are all doing the announcements on socials now.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, not the kind
teams coming out.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, no, it's exciting. We've been talking with Al and Mike and doing some things in Vegas, as a part of this as well. So, I mean, Live Fire, it's awesome. It's engaging. They do a really great job. And, there's a lot of really great cooks. And, again, it's one of those things that, a lot of eyeballs are paying attention to, which is awesome. It's great content. But yeah, we're going to master classes and things like that in Vegas. So it's going to be like a 4-day just festival. And, if you're cooking or competing, either way, we're trying to make this a little bit more of a festival meets, the barbecue competition side, right? Because that's really built for the TV side of it, even though it'll be awesome to be on site watching it.
Yeah, I kind of like the whole thing because I think, what do you got there?
It's a big team, but realistically, there will only be about four to six in the cook area.
So those are like the supporter groups.
Yeah, it would be like if my name was listed on there. I wouldn't be actually cooking anything. I would just be there for moral support, like maybe to bring them water or something.
Yeah, we've seen your burger.
You know what, Ryan? One of these times, sooner or later, we're going to do that burger throwdown, and you're going to be surprised. And MI Barbecue over here on Instagram, he said, Scott, I'm down to help with the luggage. So if you need help doing any luggage carrying, he's willing to go to the event and just be a luggage carrier.
Listen, we're going to, volunteers are going to be needed. It's going to be a fun event to be at. And, we're super excited, and we're, at the final stages of locking in. We're down to 3 casinos, and, hopefully get ready to announce that soon. So we're just trying to lock that down right now. And, it's right down the street from Mike, which is nice to have, this type of event in his backyard.
So do you have the event space? I know you probably were just mentioning that, but did you have the exact event space that you're going to put it in, or an idea that you're thinking?
Yeah, so I mean, we're in between. I would say down the final 3 that we're kind of looking at, unless something crazy happens, is Resorts World, Caesars, and MGM. Like those are kind of the 3 that we're in this conversation with. So yeah, we're just at the final, and a lot of it's going to be outside. As you can imagine, obviously you're cooking outside. So, they all of them have some great outdoor space, but then it's adjacent to a casino, which, I guess people can get into some trouble out here in Vegas being that close to a casino.
What? People get in trouble in Vegas? I've never heard of that. I mean,
someone might win $1 million and still come home with nothing.
Well, I think they would get in trouble. I don't know, like if the police, if they get in trouble, right? I don't think you can get in trouble in Vegas, but like,
Mike's got
how many total events so far for the qualifiers for the BBQ World Cup? Is that like 50 or something? You said?
No, I think he's remember how many have gone off so far. Mike, is that what you're?
Yeah, so we've had 26 teams or pitmasters qualify this far. So I'm looking at the list right now. We have 8 kind of regional ones. We had 3 of the big ones, the big major ones, and then we had 4 international ones. But out of that came 26. I think I counted this morning.
Wow, pretty decent already. Is there a lot over the international thing? I that's why I've been trying to do some like teams over. I think we got the 2 coming up from Australia. We had Fuego del Norte from Germany, they're an open fire team. I think the whole barbecue thing in Europe and that kind of stuff amazes me because I don't know how long it's actually, obviously it's been there. Obviously open fire has been there forever because people have always had to cook. But I think the barbecue thing to me, it seems like it's somewhat new over there. So it's intriguing to me how many competitions they actually have overseas.
Totally. And that was why, it was important for us to put that on like a website so we could start to understand, right? Because a lot of the folks, that, you get information from would connect you, to this person, and this person's like, well, I know so-and-so in Belgium, you got to talk to him. And then he's like, well, you got to talk to my buddy over in the UK, and you got to talk to my buddy in France, and then the UAE. So yeah, it's, there's a ton, of international, like I said, I'm excited just cause, the South Africa one, it's like a pretty big ordeal, like in terms of like what they're building, like, I'll just read you, the text that he said. We do about 4 to 7 events annually via SAF SMA. We also do smaller backyard events to give everyone a chance. Flames for Africa is our flagship event. It's our intercontinental open and live fire tied in with an annual meat festival in Pretoria, capital of SA, South Africa. This year will be way bigger than last year. So anyway, it's like, hearing these stories, it's like, it's awesome, right? Like, so we have, again, big plans. It's like, this is, very similar to American Idol, but, in a little bit more of a sport sense, which is exciting.
That's nice. MI Barbecue over on Instagram. He wanted to know if there were any California teams that have already qualified.
Oh, it's a good question. I don't have the location. Let me see here. I'm kind of looking at the list. So, I mean, the big one that I would say was probably the biggest upset, if you were to call it that, or just maybe bigger surprise, is San Antonio's got a huge cook-off down there. And you had, Chef Palaraza, out of Monterey win that event, which, was huge. Tony's out of Texas. I think Thomas is out of Texas. AJ's out of AJ's out of Texas as well. Nate is out of Utah. Fred Vegas, Chris Salisbury, I believe he's up in Virginia area. Anyway, long story short, I don't know we had anybody yet from Cali, Arkansas, Kansas. So I haven't gone through the ones for just this weekend, but yeah, none from Cali right now. Long-winded way to get there.
Mike said he's very excited. Very nice. I'm excited for this to happen, especially in my backyard. And Jim says, I think what we learned today is that Ryan needs to invite a barbecue team to the griddle battle round 1, barbecue round 2, griddle. Best combined score wins, and the prize is beard oil donated to Steve.
Thank you.
That's it. That is very well said.
Yeah,
$1 million is on the line. Now there's a griddle battle. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
One day, maybe.
One day. I had a question. Guess what, Ryan? I had a question and I forgot it.
Oh, well, that's good because I'm going to interrupt you. Because anybody that is watching us on the Thursday Night Barbecue Chat over on Instagram, we're getting close to our hour mark. So make sure you leave there and come over to another page.
Like YouTube or Facebook.
Instagram or YouTube. The Barbecue Back to Beer on Instagram still works. For some reason, our Thursday Night Barbecue Chat on Instagram shuts down at exactly 1 hour. So you've got 6.5 minutes to find another live feed.
YouTube's probably the easiest, but yeah you can go to YouTube because it's probably the most common.
We don't know why, but it just does.
I had such a good question, Ryan, and we got into talking about the griddle battle and the beard oil and everything, and it just fluttered right away.
Slipped right off your mind.
I think this is I was going to say, I mean, next year. So this is basically the trial year. So next year, obviously, if Mike Starr is involved, and you're talking to Al, are you going to do like an open fire kind of part of the World Cup? I mean, barbecue, open fire. I mean, open fire, I think, is just in the beginning of getting to a competition type of standard. But I mean, because there's not a lot of open fire competitions around.
Yeah, when we first started talking, it's 100% going to be involved. Now, to what degree of, a competition, I've talked with Al about that. It's like, I think we're still trying to figure that piece out, but theoretically very similar situation where it's like if it gets to that point and and they're able to figure out like, hey, we got 5 live fire events around the world, right? Like, how do we make the ultimate final be in Las Vegas with this, right? So but live fire is just like, I mean, it's awesome just to be around, right? I mean, it's the energy's there. You can sample some food and whether you love it or hate it, it's entertainment, and the consumer is what drives, everything else, right? From a sponsorship perspective and marketing and all that stuff. So they just do an incredible job, and it's fun. So we're definitely going to have it 100%. It just depends on whether it's like a true competition. Maybe it's, we've talked about, they do some stuff where it's like the tokens you go by and fans can drop things in. So, fans can vote, via tokens, trying the food and, figure out who's the best from that, that standard, or, maybe it's a fan, and then you have some judges. So anyway, we've talked through kind of all the different scenarios, but 100% will have a live fire component be a part of it, whether it's competition or just, come and have fun and drink some beers and, eat some whole hog cooking over a flame.
That sounds so good.
Right.
MI Barbecue, he's on Instagram, and MI, you can move over to YouTube if you want, because we may run a little bit over. It all depends on Scott's daddy duty. But it says, thanks, Scott, for your influence in barbecue, and thanks, Steve and Ryan, for having this chat. We have this chat every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And thank you for joining us. But you can move to Instagram. We may run a little bit over, if that's okay with Scott. Ryan and I have friends.
We'll let it roll until the 5-year-old and 3-year-old start fighting, and then it's. From what you were saying with the open fire thing, I kind of see the same thing. I kind of go both ways. I do like people's choice where people get to vote, because I think it's kind of great. But then sometimes people stack the deck. They'll invite, if they got 80 relatives that they want to invite to the event, then they can stack it up. But I don't want it. I wouldn't want to see like the open fire as far as competition get into where it then ends up falling into the same thing as barbecue has, is that then now you have judges, and now you have people that are looking for certain flavor profiles, and then some of the creativity is kind of taken away a little bit, because now everybody's trying to meet a certain, flavor profile and a certain thing that wins. And I like the fact, just like Ryan's griddle battle, I like the fact that it's I even include the Rib Cook-Off Association the same way. I like that anything goes, where anybody can come up with this. I like creativity and the free for all of it all. Totally. Yeah. I mean, they've done a good job with a lot of that stuff. And I think they're at the, the early stages of, what that looks like, and, which is awesome to see, the growth of it all. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see. But yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those things where, how do you balance it where, right, there's a little bit of the blind judging that comes into it, right? Where it's like, to your point, you got some people that just have big personalities and they're awesome. And then you got some people who can cook that are a little bit more introverted. And it's like, if you don't have that big personality, like you can win votes because of that. You know what I mean? So, but again, it's all for good fun. You know what I mean? So, but if you're cooking, for a big prize pot, like that's when tempers are going to flare. If it's like, to your point, Steve, somebody shows up with 80 team members, is dropping in, coins into that area.
So I got a quick.
I don't like the popularity, the people's choice. I like the idea and stuff, but we had some things with another competition that it was, who has the most votes and stuff like that. Well, I've got, 2,000 to 3,000 followers on my page, and you've got 50 or 60,000 followers. Well, there's no chance. Right. But
so a question to you, Scott, if you can.
Yeah.
So are you going to do like next year? Are you going to do the same competitions, or does like next year then it just opens up again, and you're going to select 50 competitions, and it may not be the same competitions that were the year before?
It's a good question, right? I mean, the short answer is I would say the majority of them probably, yeah, because they were, everything, great promoters, things like that.
Right.
Yeah. Can you go get me a cup so I can put it in there? Yeah. So we'll go through that process, but then there's some that it's like, hey, like, it's important for, us to have a good partnership with them. And, if we're going to promote them and, allow their event to be a qualifier for ours, like we want them to be involved. So, but yes, we'll go through and evaluate that.
Interesting.
I think we're getting close to the time there.
Yeah, close to the.
Mine just got home too. So.
Then one last one. So they don't have to register on the bar. They just have to sign up for an actual event that is inclusive. Yep. They just need to go to the BBQ World Cup website or page, find a list of what events are considered qualifying events, and they just need to sign up for that. There's no need to register as a team for the World Cup.
Correct. So, a couple things there. So if you are a member, the World Cup fee, right? This fee to sign up and compete at the World Cup will be $500. If you're not a member, it's $1,250. So it's a $50 yearly membership. We'll come out with a monthly one, but yeah, if you're a member, you get a massive, 60% discount off of the fee. So what's been interesting though, is some teams are, and we wanted to, just because we knew we weren't going to we didn't want to have it where it was like, you have to be a member to compete. And then it was like, 2 competitions, the first and second place weren't members. And now we're like taking the third and fourth because they were. So we had to figure that out pretty quickly, but it was important to allow people that weren't members to also compete. But we were enticing, the folks to sign up by giving them 60% off. So it's a little bit of rolling the dice. Like, hey, if you're going to go cook a competition, it's probably worth paying $50, if you think you have any shot, at doing it. And a couple of the teams that we've talked to are like, man, like shit, I wish I would have, excuse my French, signed up for, that, because we weren't thinking we were going to win. And then they came in second, so that's one thing. And then right now, BBQ World Cup, you can go in, like our plan, like we've already taken a whole bunch of teams. So if you're a competition team, you can go to the website, register your team, right? And it's just history. Put your logo up there. We're trying to create a kind of a world map of all the competition teams, that exist out there. Judges, we've had, 300 judges put their applications in, right? And not applications, but just their profiles. And then we have people submitting events through there. If you got a barbecue restaurant or food truck, like submit that there. We've promoted that. We have our newsletter out. The newsletter's doing really well, and we're just basically promoting judges, teams, competitions, barbecue businesses right now, and just giving them a little blurb. And again, the plan would be to hopefully go down the road and create, a much more robust, community through that all, but it's all free to do. It doesn't cost anything to go and sign up and register those things.
Excellent. Well, Ryan, I think we should let Scott go back to his real duties of being daddy, and let him go. We're at the. Hey, you know what, Ryan? I hate to tell you, but it's minute 103, and Instagram didn't shut off today.
Wow, we must have broke the algorithm.
You hacked it.
Maybe because we talked about $1 million.
They're like, let it run.
Let it run. I don't know what. Maybe we got enough. Maybe we finally got enough followers on the Instagram that it decided that maybe it's worth it, because it didn't shut off for the last whatever number of weeks. At 1 hour, it shut off automatically. But anyway,
glad I could be a part of a historic show.
Show, right? Well, we'll have to catch up. I'll reach out to you and see if we can figure out something as we get close. When is the Vegas competition?
So we're shooting for beginning, or I think it was the second week in April. That could fluctuate a week before, a week after. But yeah, the plan, like what we're fingers crossed, and I know when you say these things, I always like to, I always just, I don't mind sharing the information. Like we're shooting for the 8th to the 11th. of April. That's the target date, but it's not locked in. So it could fluctuate a week before that or a week after.
Just make sure to check the Rib Cook-Off Association Worlds is right around that time.
Ah, gotcha. Well, maybe we can talk to them and have them host the final in Vegas with it.
That would be, yeah, they were in Oklahoma this year. So Vegas would be a fun thing. So anyway, yeah, you know what? Then I'll reach out as we get later in the year. I'll make a note I'll put it in my calendar, reach out if we could then reconnect and do a show like a week or two before or whatever to kind of pump up what's happened over the past year and what you've learned and what you haven't learned since the thing. I think
there'll definitely be a lot of failures. I can assure you that. But no, yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. And yeah, my kids have eaten a lot of snacks and things that they don't typically eat just to keep them out of the room. So probably need to go get a handle on that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
They're
Scott.
probably
Thanks
like,
for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it, and good luck to everything, man. We can't wait to hear an update. And,
Yeah.
see how it goes.
No, and listen, appreciate it. Right. I mean, this thing succeeds when, you get everybody, around it and, talking about it and, just makes it that much bigger. And, hopefully down the road, we're talking, even bigger prize money and bigger opportunities and, just continuing to grow it. So again, thank you guys for having us and talking about it and promoting it and all that fun stuff.
Once you get your prize pool up to like 5 million, then maybe I'll consider it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan and I will start a competition and we'll competition team and we'll challenge.
You're like the PGA. I don't have the live golf money yet for you, Ryan.
All right, Scott. Thanks very much for coming on and good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
Yep. See, that's one of the best things. That's one of the best things about having a podcast is as soon as it came out, I was very curious about the whole thing. And see, then you can just go out and try and get a hold of the actual founder of it and ask them all the questions you want to ask. And that's the greatness of the chat. So anybody who joined us, that's great thing to do. And I wish more people
came in at the end here and like Grant. So that's called a salad. I don't know what that comment was for, but it says hi.
Probably most of the stuff you cook on a griddle, it's like a salad.
Wow.
Wow.
I've never cooked a salad on a griddle.
I wonder if you could. I mean, I'm sure you could.
What is that? Like a wilted salad or something?
I don't know. But anyway.
All right, guys. It's been another great show.
I'm more excited at the fact that Instagram didn't shut off. That's the bigger excitement to me.
Pretty good. I mean, we're over our time, so maybe that's the end of it. Of course, next week it'll probably shut off, and we'll still try to announce it.
Next week's show, actually, the next 2 weeks are in flux. Next week, I am trying to find somebody to do the infamous Memphis in May show. It's very hard to find a guest Memphis in May week. So I have an idea. I'm speaking to our good friend Ray, Little Gringa, to see if she would want to come on and do a live co-host type of thing from down there in Memphis in May and see what's going on down there, because it is one of the greatest events ever. I think I wish I could go. Ryan, we should find a way to get there one day. I'd have to quit Wanamaker's, but we'd have to find a way to get there.
Quit Wanamaker's.
It's the busiest time at the store, and I just can never get away.
Speaking of Ray, real quick, and I know I got to get out of here too, but she's got some raffle going on right now. You can a chance to win like a full dinner for 14 people. So
yeah, I think she sells stuff. I think that's how she helps to. Quote me if I'm wrong. I mean, it helps her to. Because traveling ain't easy. You know what I mean? And I don't know how many sponsors she has or what the deal is with what she does. But she goes to Memphis in May. She was at the Shed. She's goes to Hondo. It's if you don't have super duper tons of sponsors, it's driving around ain't easy. So
we're barely scraping by here.
So yeah, get the Ray Little Gringa site and see what that raffle is all about. And then I kind of looked at it too. I didn't read the whole thing. And then see what you can do. Hey, Gene Boldman's on there. Hey, guess what? that is my good friend Gene Boldman. He is an Operation Volunteer, Operation Barbecue Relief volunteer, like myself. Gene does it a lot more often than I do. He was just named Volunteer of the Year.
That's awesome. Congrats, Jim. And
Well
thank you for what you
deserved.
do to get there.
Yeah, no, he is a great guy. Love volunteering when he's down there. Never a sad face on that man. He's always happy. He's always jolly. He's always ready to help figure things out. Gene, congratulations, and keep up doing what you're doing. And wish I could see you, but you and Mandy are at the camp. Okay, well, enjoy the. I got to get down to Camp OBR. It's down there in Missouri in the Ozarks. I got to get down there because it seems like it'd be a fun time. And Gene's always down there sharing pictures. Him and Mandy are always sharing pictures, and it always looks so beautiful down there that I got to get down there and try it. But if you guys are coming up for Windy City Smokeout, I'm not going to be on vacation this year, so we can maybe do something. Last year he's like, "Hey, we're coming up," and I said, "Oh, that's great," because I'm going down to Florida. So it's like they were coming up, and
You could have met in the middle somewhere.
you could have met in the middle. But I think they flew. I drive. I don't know if they might drive.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right, guys.
so
Another great show.
another great show next week. Maybe Memphis in May, and then we'll see what happens from there. So everybody have a great week. Thank you everybody for coming on. Oh, they're not doing Windy City. Of course, I'm going to be in town so they're not going to do Windy City.
Yeah. Well, they're just avoiding.
Maybe they're just avoiding me. Well, anyway, thank you everybody from coming on. It's always makes it better when there's tons of questions and comments. Thank you for everybody for doing that. Thank you for following on Instagram the same way. You can do a follow Thursday Night Barbecue Chat on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The best thing about YouTube, if you are new to the whole thing, YouTube still has all 128 shows on it. So feel free to look back at the guest list. There has been some amazing guests on this show. And as Ryan and I like to always say, it is the greatest show that nobody watches. So, and we are working on shirts for that. So we'll see what happens. And thanks again to AK Barbecue Man for our great Yak Off shirts. Thank you very much. It's always nice to receive stuff like that. That's absolutely amazing. So thank you. And keep watching, keep sharing it out, follow everywhere. And it's just a fun thing to do every week. I mean,
all right, guys. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Central, Thursday night. Bye.
Thursday night.